Picture this. You make a deal, a promise. It's solid, you shake on it, it's ironclad. But then, the world throws a curveball. Something nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. And all of a sudden, keeping that promise isn't just hard, it's impossible. So what happens then? Well, let's get into it. This isn't just some abstract thought experiment. It's a real-world mess that can completely tank a business or turn a personal agreement upside down. So when some crazy event that's totally out of your control makes a contract impossible or pointless, does the law just shrug and say, tough luck, a deal's a deal? Well, thankfully, no. The law actually has a pretty smart solution for this exact problem. It's a concept called contract frustration, and you can think of it like a legal escape hatch that opens up when the entire foundation of an agreement just crumbles away. Now, let's be super clear about this definition. This is not a get-out-of-jail-free card for when a deal becomes a little inconvenient or maybe less profitable than you'd hoped. Oh no, the bar for this is incredibly high. The event has to be a total surprise, something you couldn't have possibly planned for. And it has to make performing the contract either literally impossible or so fundamentally different that it's just not the same deal anymore. And the results? It's a clean break. Simple as that. When a contract is officially frustrated, it's not put on hold, it's not renegotiated, it just stops. It's automatically terminated the second that frustrating event happens. From that moment forward, both sides are totally off the hook for any future promises. The deal is just gone.
So how do you know? How does anyone decide if a contract has truly been frustrated? Well, it usually boils down to four main categories. I like to think of them as the four pillars holding up the entire contract. If some wild, unforeseen event comes along and shatters one of those pillars, the whole thing can come crashing down.
That's the magic number you got to remember here. 4. All right, here they are, the 4 pillars. Absolute impossibility, radical difference, supervening illegality, and futility. Each one points to a very specific way an agreement can just be shattered by events. So let's break them down one by one, starting with the most obvious. So, pillar number 1, absolute impossibility. This is the easiest one to get your head around. Let's say you have a contract to sell a specific one-of-a-kind painting. Before you can hand it over, your gallery burns down and the painting is destroyed. Well, the contract is frustrated. It's not that it's just hard to deliver, it's physically absolutely impossible. The thing you promised to do literally cannot be done anymore. Okay, this next one gets a little more subtle. Radical difference. Performance is still technically possible, but the whole point of the deal has been turned on its head. Imagine you rent a boat for the very specific purpose of salvaging a famous shipwreck at a known location. But overnight, an undersea earthquake buries that wreck under a mountain of rock. Sure, you can still take the boat out, but the whole reason for the contract, the salvage operation, is gone. It's a radically different venture now, and it's not the one either of you agreed to. Now this pillar is another pretty straightforward one, supervening illegality. You sign a contract to ship a bunch of widgets to another country. It's all legal, everything's good to go, but then, a week later, your government suddenly slaps a trade embargo on that country. Exporting those widgets is now illegal. Boom! The contract is frustrated because the law itself is now preventing you from keeping your promise. And for our last pillar, futility. The key ingredient is that both parties understood the core purpose of the deal. The classic textbook case is this. You rent a hotel room with a balcony for the express purpose of watching a royal coronation parade. Everyone knows that's why you're paying a premium for that room on that day. But then, the king gets sick and the parade is canceled. Can you still use the room? Yes. But the entire point of the contract, the thing you both understood was the reason for the deal, it's vanished into thin air. It's futile. All right, so we've walked through the 4 pillars, but let's zoom out. Why does any of this matter to you? Because honestly, this isn't just for lawyers in a courtroom. Understanding this concept shows you the hidden fault lines in any agreement you make, whether it's a huge business deal or just buying tickets to a festival next year. It really makes you think about what it is you're actually promising. So let's drill down on the key takeaways. First, remember the bar is sky high. This isn't for when things get a little tough or expensive. Second, it's automatic. It's the law that ends the contract, not you or the other person. Third, it's a clean break. All future promises are wiped clean. And maybe most important of all, the event has to be a genuine, unforeseeable surprise. If you could have or should have seen it coming, this legal escape hatch is not going to open for you. And that leaves us with a final question to chew on. As you go out and make your next plan, your next deal, your next promise, just ask yourself this. It's not about being negative or paranoid. It's about being smart. It's about truly understanding the foundation of the promises we all make in a world that is, by its very nature, unpredictable.